Welcome to another Fast Tips video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I am your instructor, Richard Rost. This is a Fast Tip Developer Edition for the developers out there. This is not for the beginners, for people who have some VBA experience under their belt. If not, go watch this video. More on this later, though. But in today's video, I'm going to show you how to do this right here. See that? One of my longtime developers and moderators on my website, John Davey, asked me, he says, I'm building this database for a client of mine, and I've got these little buttons that I've made, right, that I've showed before in some of my videos how to make these. These are really easy. The command button wizard does these, right? Because he doesn't want to use the stock one down on the bottom here. I don't blame him. I don't really like the way it looks myself. But he wants to know, how do you do this? How do you show what record you're on and how many total records there are in the form? It's not that easy to do. So that, good people, is what I'm going to show you how to do in this video. Before we get started, if you haven't watched my command buttons video, go watch that right now. I teach you how to make these pretty little buttons down here. All right, here I've got a customer form, and I made my own little buttons, just like I showed you in that other video, right? There's next record, previous record, first record, last record. There's add record, there's delete record. You can put all kinds of stuff on here. Now, how do you get this thing, the current record, right in here? Which a lot of people don't know. You can type in here, by the way, and type in like 15, press enter. It'll take you to record 15. A little cute little thing you didn't know, right? I'll be honest, I almost never use that. But let's just say for display purposes, you want to create that because you want to put a nice big box right here to go with your big box buttons. Right? Big box, yeah, big buttons. A big box to go with your big button, I don't know, whatever. So how do we do that? Well, this is where the VBA comes in. We need a little teeny tiny bit of VBA to do this, folks. If you never done any VBA programming before, go watch this guy. It's about 20 minutes long. It'll teach you everything you need to know to get started with VBA. I'll walk you through it. I'll hold your hand. Well, not actually physically hold your hand, but you know what I mean. And also go watch this guy. It's the onCurrent event. There's different events that fire at different times. Right? When you open a form, when you close a form, when you delete a record, when you move from record to record, that's called the onCurrent event. Okay, so go watch this video too if you've never watched these. These are all free videos, by the way, folks. They're on my website. They're on my YouTube channel. They're all free. Go watch them, then come on back. Okay, so we know how to make these little buttons, right, from the button video. And we know a little bit of VBA now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a text box down here that's unbound. So that means there's no data coming from the table. It's just a box sitting there that we can do what we want with it. Okay, and then when we move from record to record, we're going to fill into that box the current record number and the total number of records, the record count. All right, so design view. Let me open this up down here. Let me slide. We'll make it look like the other one. We'll slide this over here like that. You can grab any text box you want off of here. I'll take the state and I'll just copy and paste it. Slide it down here. Make it look however you want to make it look. Don't make it crazy big. Like, here, we'll do this with all our buttons. We'll make our buttons the same height, too. Try to keep them all looking nice. Okay, maybe make this a little bit bigger. And let's go a little bit smaller. Okay, like that. And then we have to go to its properties now. And we don't want it bound to any field. So where it says control source, take that out of there. Because right now, it's bound to the state field. Okay, get rid of that. So now it's just an unbound box. It's got no data in it. We can put whatever we want in there. Go to the All tab, give it a good name. We don't want to call it text 36. Never leave your controls that you're going to actually do stuff with a name like text 36. Yeah, if you got some labels on here, like label 9, if you're not planning on doing anything with these labels, sure, fine. Leave it label 11. Okay, by default, when you bring in something into a new form off the add existing fields list, whatever, it has the same name and control source as the field that it's bound to, but labels usually don't. That's label 10. If you're going to do stuff like change the colors or, access this in any way in your code, then yeah, give it a good name, phone label. Okay, this guy, let's call it whatever we want, the rec count box or whatever. Okay, record count box. And let's give it a little bit of formatting. Not going to waste a whole ton of time on that. Let's do that. We'll make it centered. We'll make the text a little bigger, maybe bold. That should fit, right? Because it's going to say, like, record 12 of 300 or whatever. Okay? Now, Where do we get the data from this box? Well, let's do the easy one first. Let's do the record count in there. I want to know how many total records are there in the record set under this form. So every form, right, it's bound to a table, it's bound to a query, okay? The data underneath that form is in what's called a record set. It could be a table, could be a query, could be a bunch of other things. All right, that's called a record set. Now, how do we get that record set's count of the number of records in it? It's just like this. Let's go to the Forms properties. I'm going to go to Events and then the OnCurrent event. Bring over here so you can see that. Okay, hit the dot button. That's going to bring up our VBA editor. Resize that. All my windows are moved around because I was doing some development work myself this morning, folks. Okay, so I'm in the Form.Current event now. And remember, from the OnCurrent event video, right? Form.Current runs whenever we move from record to record, including when that first record loads up. Okay, so I want to put in that record count box that we just created the count of the number of records in the record set of this form. Okay, makes sense? So watch this. It's going to be rec count box equals me, that's me is the current form that you're on, me dot record set, that's the set of records in this form, dot record count. Now, unfortunately, you lose your IntelliSense for that. You don't get anything beyond me.Recordset, but trust me, it's a real thing. Press enter, and you'll see it gets capitalized. Why you don't get any IntelliSense for that, I'm not sure. There's properties of the record set. You can Google them if you really want to see what they all are. Okay, there's record count. There's another one I'm going to show you in just a minute. Okay, but what that's going to do is it's going to count the number of records in the record set under this form. So if it's a table with 10 records, you should see 10. If it's a query that maybe, is only showing you the customers from Florida, there might only be 5 in that record count or in that record set. Okay, all right, save this. Come back over here. We're going to close everybody down and then reopen the customer form. Boom, 29 records. And that should match what you see right there. Right? That's the count of records in the record set. Okay, that's pretty easy to do. But now what about when I move through the records? I want it to say 1 of 29, 2 of 29, 3, and so on, just like it does down here. I can turn this off, right? All right, how do we do that? Okay, well, let's go back to our code. Save changes, come back in here. All right. Now, let's just put this aside for just a minute. We'll come back to that. All right, we're going to do a different one. Rec count box equals. The way you get the current position that you're at in that record set is with Me.Recordset.AbsolutePosition. Absolute position. And again, when you leave that line, A and P, the absolute position, should pop up capitalized. That way you know you're right. Where do I find all this stuff, by the way? Well, you can Google most of it, right? You find the record set properties on Microsoft's website. Here they are. Absolute position, all kinds of stuff in your fields, record count, record set type. There's lots of them. I teach these in my course as we need them because you don't need a lot of this stuff. Honestly, in my 30-year career with Access, almost, there's a lot of these properties I've never used. But some of them you'll use all the time. I'll put a link to this page down below if you want to go read more. Okay, so you got Me.Recordset.AbsolutePosition. Save that. Come back out here. Open up the customer form. And I got a 0 there. What's with the 0? Well, let's move to the next record. 1, 2. Oh, okay. All right, it's working. But remember, absolute position is 0 based. Why? I don't know. It starts at 0. So all you got to do is add 1 to it. And now you'll notice that it works just fine. 1, 2, 3, and so on. Skipped 1. There's 1. Okay, so now we have everything we need to say 2 of 29, for example. And that's one of the reasons I love VBA, because in other languages like C, you'd have to convert that over to a text value. And then, but VBA does it all nicely for you. So we'll take that, and then we'll say ampersand, and then we'll add of, like that, right? Quote, space, of, quote. And when you do that right there, automatically VBA typecasts that for you right into a string value. That's kind of cool. In like C, you've got to be very specific about this stuff, but VBA is very forgiving, which can be bad sometimes, because if you are expecting a number and
Access was trying to be nice and typecast into a string for you, and now it's not working. You got to be careful with that stuff too sometimes. All right, but there we go. Save that. And now, bam. There you go. Look at that. See? Pretty cool, right? And now you can just get rid of this. You turn off the navigation buttons if you want to. You know how to do that, right? It's in the properties, form properties. All right, come up here. All right, format and navigation buttons. And come back in here. And voila. You got this big bar down here. If you turn off the scroll bar too, you won't see that big bar. Where's the scroll bar? I got both. And for a single form, you don't need either. So I set it to neither. Save that. And then there you go. And if you've added your own delete button, you really don't need the record selector either, unless you want to give them the ability to copy and paste whole records, which I almost never do. I'll make buttons for that if they need to do that. Okay. Now, one other tricky thing I want to show you. This is bonus material. Bonus time. It's time for bonus. No, that was kind of stupid. Okay. Bonus time. All right. For this, I will need to turn back on those record selectors so you see what's going on here. Record select. Oh, record selectors, yes. I meant navigation buttons. I get those mixed up all the time. I know which one's which in my brain. I've been doing this so long, but I always say the wrong one. I don't know why. I think record selectors, and I'm thinking this because you use those to select what record you're on, right? Your brain kind of thinks that way. Yes, I know this is the record selector. Those are the navigation buttons, but I get them wrong all the time. In fact, one of my early classes, I recorded the whole video and didn't realize I said them both backwards. Okay, now here's the problem, and it's got a really funky solution, but it works. All right, and this one took me a while to Google it years ago when I first ran into this problem. Okay, and this is back when Google wasn't as good as Google is today. We're talking, 10 years ago. There's not as much stuff out there. All right, watch this. Florida. Okay, take a look at my customers real quick, and I've got how many customers from Florida? Let me sort this list. 1, 2, 3, 4 Floridians. Okay. All right. Watch this. Right click. Add a filter equals Florida. What's going on there? This is one of 2. This is one of 4. What's right? What's not? Well, the record set data under here doesn't refresh fast enough. And it gives you a value of 2. But if you click and it moves through the record set at all, it comes up with 1 of 2, 2 or of 4, and it puts the right value in there. If you unfilter, you're back to 29. If you turn the filter back on again, you're back to 2. How do you fix that? Well, what we have to tell Access is, okay, if someone applies a filter to this form, I need you to traverse the whole record set. Basically, we're going to say, take the record set pointer. The pointer is whatever record you're on, right? So right now I'm on record 204, 304. That's the pointer, all right? Move it to the end of the record set and give me that count. Because what's happening is the record set pointer isn't moving, the filter gets applied, and it just goes, I don't know where we're at. Okay, so how do we do that? What event do we use when a filter is applied? Go to Events. All right, you got On Filter right here. ... And Form Filter is the wrong one. This is another one that always gets people. You don't want the Form Filter sub. All right, On Filter is called when someone opens up the filter dialog box. All right, so you don't want On Filter. You want On Apply Filter. Yeah, very subtle difference. Okay, On Apply Filter, this happens after any filter is applied to the records at all. Okay, don't believe me? Try them yourself. Okay, and in here, we're going to simply tell the record set pointer to go to the end of the record set. It's going to be Me.Recordset.MoveLast. And you hear that little ding? It always happens when I hit the dot after record set, because Access is expecting the end of the command there. Okay, Me.Recordset.MoveLast. Now, it's not actually going to change what record is displayed in the form. It's just telling the record set pointer underneath to go to the end, and that will give you an updated count. Okay? It's kind of like when you're doing actual programmable record sets in VB code, and sometimes depending on the cursor type that you have to go to the last record before you can get a count using ADO, for those of you who know what that stuff is. All right, save it. Give it a good compile once in a while. All right, debug compile. I always do that. Okay, now we're going to close this bad boy. Open it back up again. Okay, 1 of 29, 2, or whatever. Go to the end. That's fine. Go to the beginning. Now let's filter for Florida. And look at that. All right, it's 1 of 4. And it's reading correctly now. Okay. Unfilter it. And there you go. And notice that it doesn't actually go to the last record. It's just the record set pointer in the background. The cursor goes to the end of the record set. So it knows how many records are there now. It's really freaky, folks. There's a lot of behaviors in Access. I mean, when you get a program that's this complex, sometimes you get weird behaviors, and that's just one of them. So you just got to know how to get around them, I guess, right? And this is the kind of creepy, crazy stuff that I teach in my developer classes. So if you want to learn more stuff like this, I think I'm up to 42 now, 42 different levels of developer classes. Well, they're all at least an hour long. Some of them are 3 hours long, 4 hours long, because we get into these topics like this, and I just go on tangents, and I'll cover stuff that's weird and unexpected and unusual. I've been doing this since 1994, and it's 2022, so I've been doing this for 28 years now, and I've seen everything pretty much that you can do with Access, and I've built thousands of databases. So this is what I've done most of my career, is this stuff, and I've been teaching for 20-some years too. So that's what I do in my developer classes. We start with a topic and we just go into it. So, kind of like I've just been doing in this video. So there you go. There's your Fast Tip Developer Edition for today. I hope you learned something. Give me some comments down below. Let me know what you thought. And give me a thumbs up and all that good stuff. And we'll see you next time. If you guys want to see more developer tips like this, be sure to post a comment, because most of the comments I get are from the beginner users. So I've been focused a lot on those. So if you guys want to see more developer type tips, I got to hear from you. All right. Thanks. See you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and post any comments you may have. I do try to read and answer all of them as soon as I can. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, which is completely free, and click on the bell icon to select all to receive notifications when new videos are posted. Make sure you click the Show More link down below the video to find additional resources and links. You'll see a list of other videos, additional information related to the current topic, free lessons, and lots more. YouTube no longer sends out email notifications when new videos are posted, so if you'd like to get an email every time I post a video, click on the link to join my mailing list. Even if you don't want to become a member, feel free to donate to my tip jar. Your patronage is greatly appreciated and will help keep these free videos coming. I got puppies to feed. How do you become a member? Click on the Join button below the video. After you click the Join button, you'll see a list of all the different membership levels that are available, each with its own special perks. Silver members and up will get access to all of my extended cut tech help videos, one free beginner class each month, and more. Gold members get access to download all of the sample databases that I build in my tech help videos, plus my code vault, where I keep tons of different functions that I use. You'll also get a higher priority if you decide to submit any tech help questions to me, and you'll get one free expert class each month after you've finished the beginner series. Platinum members get all the previous perks, plus even higher priority for tech help questions, access to all of my full beginner courses for every subject, and one free developer class each month after you finish the expert classes. These are the full-length courses found on my website, not just for Access too. I also teach Word, Excel, Visual Basic, and lots more. You can now become a Diamond sponsor and have your name or company name listed on a sponsors page that will be shown in each video as long as you're a sponsor. You'll get a shout out in the video and a link to your website or product in the text below the video and on my website. But don't worry, these free tech help videos are going to keep coming. As long as you keep watching them, I'll keep making more, and they'll always be free. Now, if you have not yet tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access. It's over 4 hours long, and I just updated it for 2021. You can find it on my website or on my YouTube channel. I'll include a link below that you can click on. And also, if you like Level 1, Level 2 is just $1. Yep, that's all, $1, and it's free for all members of my YouTube channel at any level, even supporters. Want to have your question answered in a video just like this one? Visit my tech help page on my website. You can send me your question there. While you're on my site, feel free to stop by the Access Forum. Lots of good conversations happening there. Be sure to follow my blog, find me on Twitter, and of course, YouTube. Once again, my name is Richard Ross. Thank you for watching this tech help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you learned something today. I'll see you again soon.